Whenever you put an object onto the scales, you always need to tare the scales back to zero. In this case, a scale pan has been put onto the scales and then the flour is being weighed on this. Do not make the mistake of putting an object onto the scales and not tearing that, because you won't have the correct weight for your ingredients. Always keep your yeast away from the salt. The salts can seriously damage the yeast or even kill the yeast when it comes into contact with it. Good practice would be to keep your yeast away from all the ingredients until you're ready to mix. Conditioner is also known as vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid. This means when you add this ingredient into your dough, you can process your dough straight away after mixing. This is also used for all M.D.D doughs, mechanical dough development. Every recipe will have a dough temperature. Therefore, you will not only have to weigh your water, you will also need to take the temperature of your water too. A calculation will be given on each recipe you do. Every recipe will have a mixing time. You'll have 2 minutes on slow speed and 6 minutes on fast speed. This is on a spiral mixer. We also have planetary mixers. Now sometimes this can vary with a planetary mixer. Slow speed on the mixer is just mixing your ingredients together. Once this swaps over to the faster speed, this is when a dough starts to form. This is when the gluten is starting to form too. This will give the stretchiness in your dough. If you don't mix long enough in the dough, you won't get the stretchiness in the gluten, and therefore doughs won't rise as much. Waiting for the mixer to stop fully is a health and safety precaution. Always wait for that mixer to stop. Never ever put your hands inside the mixer when the spiral hook is moving. You'll then ball the dough up and place it back into a board and then rest for another 5 or 10 minutes. This will just relax the gluten a little bit because it's quite elastic at the moment. And then after them 5 or 10 minutes, the dough will become more extensible. That means you'll be able to mold the dough a lot easier. It's then time to scale your dough. If you're doing this by hand, then you will scale them into individual pieces at the correct weight required. After all the dough has been scaled off, it's then time to mould your dough. You'll cup the dough with your hands over the top, then ball the dough up by doing a rotating motion. When using a Bun Divider Moulder, after the short rest, it's then time to pin your dough out. You'll then place it onto the template for the Bun Divider Moulder machine. You can then push the dough out using the ends of your fingers all the way out to the last indents. Set the Bun Divider Moulder to the correct setting, and then you're ready to mould your dough. Place the template board onto the machine, fitting through the little hole with the metal piece coming through. Then press the two outer buttons in. The cutting plate will then drop down. You then let go of the right side button and then wait for the yellow light. Once the yellow light comes on, you can then push the lever down for around about 6 seconds. Then lift the lever up and let go of the left side button. Round up any out of shape rolls, then place them onto a tray in the correct formation and the correct spacing apart. You can also dress your rolls with seeds. After you finish moulding your dough, we'll go into what we call a prover. This will have a temperature and also a humidity setting. All ovens are different when it comes to baking. You need to make sure that you've got the right temperature and the right time for your bread. There is no steam on soft rolls. The damper will be closed throughout bake. Rolls have an after bake weight of under 300 grams, so they don't need to be weighed.